Welcome to the Commissioner's Report. I'm your host, Jeremy Myrtice. With me today we have two of my favorite guests, Myrtice Young, who is our Historic Preservation Manager, and Commissioner Rick Wilson. Thank you guys for being here.
And thank you for having us.
Well, we're here to talk about all things history today. And I know Commissioner Wilson has a very long history here in Bartow and knows something kind of special about what is our History Center now.
Used to be our courthouse.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can remember back when I was a little kid, and going into that place and, just kind of looking up at all the, the awe of it, the way it was built. I mean, walking up to it, when you're a little kid, it's kind of, it's breathtaking.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, knowing that, you're going in just to look and you're not having to go in there, that made a big difference, But, it's just it's been part of my life. I can remember back in the day when, they had a little, I never got to go into courtrooms back then, but I would walk around there with my dad or my mom just killing time uptown,
Mm-hmm.
and just seeing the people and, and they had a little, snack stand out front, and I can't remember, they had, some food and some drinks and stuff, but if I remember right, and you might have heard this, there was blind people operating it, and it was just a part of history. And now when I go in there, a lot of stuff that I see in there is history that I was in. It's you see the phosphate mining, in Polk County, big exhibit of that, and a lot of stuff there, and that's what I was involved in. In the citrus industry, great exhibits in there. That's what I was involved in. Cattle, and it's just so much to see in there, and it's done so well. And this lady right here is the one that has done it and keeps it growing and evolving. So why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Oh my, it really is an honor and a privilege to be able to walk into a building and know that you're in the most important piece of architecture in the county, and to be able to tell the story of Polk County's history in this iconic building. And that's what we do. We tell Polk County's history and all kinds of exhibits and stories and opportunities for people to get to know a little bit about us.
I hear a lot of great things. Every time, we go in there, or I hear people talking on the streets, some of the new additions or new exhibits that you're bringing in, because they're exciting. There's something different. But I just love to go in there and look at history that I know about. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people in Bartow and in this county know exactly what I'm talking about. It's stuff we hadn't seen in a while. I was in there the other day, and I looked down. It was a Publix exhibit, some of the Publix stuff. So me and George Lindsay was standing there, and I said, "You remember those S&H green stamps?" Your mom. I had to lick my tongue. My mom made me lick so many of them. It was unbelievable. But you just see that kind of stuff you had forgot about. Mm-hmm. It's good.
Something that had been part of normal everyday life.
Everyday life.
And we kind of move on from that.
Yeah, when you move on, you forget about it, mm-hmm. and there it is.
Well, there's all kinds of elements that you've designed in there that are all part of the county's history, but you have things that come and go, and you have new exhibits coming in all the time. I know you have a few that you'd like to talk about today.
Well, I'm really excited about a new exhibit. This will be a permanent exhibit. It's part of the re-envisioning of the History Center to complete the story of Polk County's history. This one is called the Cities of Polk, and it's an exhibit that will it's about the history of all of the 17 municipalities, but also stories about our heritage towns, those that don't exist anymore, and then also unincorporated areas. And it's the final footprint of the re-envisioning and the redesign of the History Center. So that's opening late summer, and we are really thrilled about that.
I can't wait to see that one. That's going to be fascinating, not from here like you, but not quite, having that foothold. Now, I don't want to say that you need to be a permanent fixture in the History Center just yet.
Yeah.
But, and I know that you have another exhibit that just launched.
Oh, wow, this is so sweet. It is so sweet. So to commemorate Black History Month and follow that with Women's History Month, we have curated an exhibit that's called Grace and Grandeur. And it is a collection of portraits of Black women in their church hats. Local artist Ronald Malone thought up this idea, created these portraits, and we are able to display them in the History Center, and along with a collection of their beautiful, most grand hats. And so that's going to open officially with a little discussion on February 26th, Saturday, and we're going to be talking about hat history, hat etiquette, and the greatest part about that, we're going to spend a little time in the exhibit with the ladies who will be there with their hats, and it's called Hat Chat.
Okay. Sounds like a fascinating time. Yeah. I've already gotten a sneak peek of it because I got to go and
a little bit,
take some of the photos of the exhibit, and the hats are incredibly just intricate. Can you tell us a little bit about the artist and how that kind of came to be a little bit? Because that's a fascinating story as well.
It really is a sweet story. Ronald Malone he's a resident of Bartow, and I think, I'm just going to say it's where I go every Sunday after church. I think he was at Publix on a Sunday after church and saw these ladies in there with these grand hats, and he was just intrigued by it and stopped one of the ladies and said, "Where have you been?" And so she started telling him about being at church and that they wear their hats to church. So he coordinated with the local African American Museum to reach out to these ladies who were recognized for being very involved in the church, worked with them, actually took a photograph of them, and then created watercolor portraits of them from the photographs.
Okay.
And if I can just say one quick little thing.
Please.
One of those lovely ladies is our very own Sharon Mathis, who works with the county.
Right here with the county.
Everyone knows Sharon.
Oh, yes. But it's just things like that makes this, center such a gem. You're talking about bringing in all the other municipalities, our other towns. I mean, there's so much history there. It's just so much to see. And people just need to come down. If they haven't been down there, come down and look, and then get with the staff and Myrtice. The stories they can tell you. It's self-explanatory, but it is something you want to look at. And
that's kind of coming back to what you had said, that each time you go back, you're finding something new. And I found that the other day when you and I were both down there. It's still a fixture, especially in Florida politics when the governor comes in to showcase some of his stuff. But you see these tiny little details that pop out every time in the exhibits, and it's always something new, and it's wonderful. So thank you.
And thank you.
And thank you both for coming in.
Thank you. It's really been good here.
And that does it for this edition of Commissioner's Report. Join us next time.